You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 216, recorded on October 11th, 2015, brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios in association with NoobReview.com. Hello and welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter munching fun. And I am the Slayer of Oryx. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And I've got so much stuff going on, and the thing I'm most worried about is if I step on a landmine here when talking about a certain basketball game. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
Yes. That topic. Yes.
Yeah.
Briefly discussed before the episode.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I am thoughtful in my critique of NBA 2K16, at least the career mode, and hope and also got a bunch of other stuff to talk about too that's happier, and even how that 2K16 kind of led to a secret thing.
Yes, the secret thing that unfortunately wasn't so secret for me because I knew about it way beforehand.
I don't know if I would say way beforehand.
I knew about it when you started talking about it in the ragtag group.
Well, yeah, but I didn't say I got it.
Yeah, but then I knew you had gotten it because of good old friends lists.
Yeah.
Always telling me things that most people don't remember.
Yeah, so we'll get into all that, and hopefully we should try to make time for the coming soon for October, considering we've already had 1 week of games go by, and we're getting ready for the second week here, so...
Yeah, it's slightly my fault. We'll actually talk about that during Destiny Talk later.
Okay.
Because, man, that was an interesting ride that weekend that we were supposed to record this episode.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Alright, well, we are pumped and we are ready, so let's just go straight into our now playing. So... I heard you had some magic talk or something.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me, because even though this is out of time order, I wanted to get this in first because I had almost forgotten about it. Battle for Zendikar came out.
Yeah.
The new Magic the Gathering set.
Yeah, heard a lot of people getting some real good stuff.
Yeah, I did pretty good. Bad thing though, my mono red deck, it isn't legal anymore.
Oh.
And mono red and red got the worst treatment in Battle for Zendikar.
Oh.
So right now I have no standard deck.
Well, that's not good.
Because even to play like Atarka red would require me buying a playset of two different fetch lands. And yeah, I just with the fetch lands rotating out with the next set, I just kind of, I don't want to spend money, getting those fetch lands right now. So
yeah. Well, there are other ways to play.
Yeah, which I've done a lot. I have done. Let's see here. I did two pre-release in the last 2 weeks. I didn't get to play any this week. But so 2 weeks ago, I got to do two pre-releases, and then last weekend I got to do a draft and another two-headed giant sealed event. So I've played in 4 different limited Battle for Zendikar events, and I've pulled some pretty good stuff. which I am trying to sell, which leads into the secret thing we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But as I've talked about before, so Zendikar is the set and the plane for when I first started Magic. Fall of 2009, a few months after Versus had died. Right after that was also the original Duels of the Planeswalkers, which we'll get into that in a second as well. Yeah, the original Duels of the Planeswalkers came out spring to early summer of 2009. Which is what taught me
Magic. That was the same time I got into it a little bit.
Yeah, which is what taught me Magic and what caused me to go and buy a couple of intro packs and start going to Magic a little bit. And then Zendikar came and, hey, these vampires are pretty cool. And hey, this kind of works. Hey, mono black vampires, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if you could go back to your vampires again.
Well, not really, because the best one is the second costliest card in Battle for Zendikar. I've not gotten any of her yet. I want one for my commander, but she's the second highest cost single right now in Battle for Zendikar. And really the ally stuff isn't powerful enough. Like I could probably... The problem with the vampire side of it is it's better in limited than it would be. I don't know. There's not a good build of it. You'd have to go black-white. And really, and what I was leading up to, the original time, so Zendikar comes out, and the Zendikar block leads into World Wake, which is where Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I always forget her name, the white creature, the white female creature that searches out equipment, and the first time in years they banned cards from Standard because those two cards are so broken.
Oh right, yeah, I know the one it's a core card, right?
Well, right, yeah, I mean that's the creatures. It's like Balforge Mystic or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, so. My mono black vampires just do nothing against Jace and stuff. And then Rise of the Eldrazi came out. That was the third set of the block.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, those guys. And
yeah,
I was still learning how to draft Magic, and that store that I went to at the time is much like the store I go to now, and they would alternate draft and standard.
Mm-hmm.
So that was triple Rise because it was a large Magic set. So you did 3 Rise of the Eldrazi packs. And let me tell you something. People love, like all the pros, that's always one of their favorite draft formats is triple Rise of the Eldrazi. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're starting out in Magic, that is not the set to learn how to draft in or, continue learning how to draft in.
Yeah, because it throws the entire draft order out of order.
Well, basically, it's build up to Eldrazi, or maybe you open the rare vampires that could make, like, black work. But otherwise, yeah, if you don't ramp up to Eldrazi, you're screwed. Because
those things were so overpowered.
Yeah, Annihilator and everything else, yeah.
Oh, God, they just destroyed your board as soon as they started hitting.
Yep. So, yeah, that wasn't much fun.
So bad. It was so bad.
And, yeah, and then, so then, money was getting tighter, and I couldn't get cards. Like, I bought a box of M11 and went to that pre-release.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of it. And then, I got my second job that fall, and I started working 1:30 to 10 every Friday night at that second job. So that meant, well, I'm not going to get to play, I'm not going to get to play
Friday
night, and I didn't know anyone else that played at the time. So I just quit going. And then Jason learned the valuable lesson in February of 2011 to never, ever sell land cards in Magic until you absolutely know for sure you're completely done with the game. Because I had 2 play sets of these Zendikar fetch lands. Those are not the ones that were reprinted in cons. I had 2 play sets because I had the 2 play sets that would fetch swamps. And I sold those on Channel Fireball. And those are worth double or more what I sold them for.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, because when those dang Mutavaults went out of standard, I kept my Mutavaults. I learned my lesson. I kept my damn Mutavaults when they rotated out. So yeah, I learned that. I kept all my Shocklands. I have play sets of the. Let's see. I have a playset of the red-white Shockland. I have a playset of the green-white one. I have a playset of the red-green one.
Hey, you never know when they're going to get reprinted.
Well, not only that, but they'd work in Modern.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, one of these days, I'm going to build a Modern deck. But I just hadn't done it yet. I've been pecking away at it. But, yeah. So, anyway, going into this Zendikar, I'm like, oh, gosh, is this going to make me quit Magic again? Because the other thing that made me quit Magic was just I hated the Eldrazi. And back then, the Eldrazi were still a thing for Standard, and then I missed out on the Titans, the Titans that got printed in M11, reprinted in M12. Those dominated for a long time as well.
Yeah, they were pretty damn powerful in the video game too.
Yeah. So come back to Battle for Zendikar, and I'm at pre-release night, the midnight pre-release, and I'm looking here, and it's like, okay, we're going to be open-minded. We're going to open these packs, and wow, I have a low curve of red and white creatures, and most of them are allies.
That is pretty good.
It's like, okay, let's go with this. And I took red-white, mainly allies. There were a few landfall cards in there, so it was like red-white, allied landfall, and I went 3-1.
Nice.
Yeah. And then in the second pre-release I did at that shop the next afternoon, I did red, white, black ally landfall, adding in a couple of the vampires I had, and I went 2-1-1.
Okay.
So I've already found my favorite thing to do in Battle for Zendikar limited, sealed, or draft. It's like go some combination of red, white, black, ally, vampire, and try to go under the curve. And then I drafted Battle for Zendikar. I drafted red, white, black, and did I win the? Yeah, I won my draft pod with it.
Nice.
Even beat the other really good player that I never beat. Like, me and this guy are the 2 best players at that shop for Standard and Draft, because none of the guys that do Legacy ever draft there. So it's always like me or this guy are like the 2 best, and I actually beat him because I was just getting landfall triggers. Like, we're in the mid game and the board's kind of stalled out, but I've got all my landfall creatures. It's like landfall swing. He's like, I have to block or I die, and then it's like landfall swing. He's just shaking his head, like, because I have like all these things like landfall triggers and ally triggers, like first strike, landfall. This 2/3 first striker becomes a 4/5, and this creature gets first strike from landfall. This ally 2+2/+2 trigger, and it's just going crazy, and I'm just getting triggers and triggers and triggers, and he's just I actually beat him. So
yeah, I gotta play that video game from this year. I never played it, which is really weird because I've always played those games.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that in a bit here as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've had a lot of fun with this set. It's just, thank God that Dave Humphreys or somebody there, I don't know the breakdown of who did the work on the set, but somebody made a viable under the curve strategy that works in that set, because White has almost all the removal.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's normal.
It's normal, but it's by a lot. Like, normally black has
Okay.
removal as well, and then red would... I mean, it is literally like, if you pull black and red together, they don't have as many removal cards as white.
Jeez.
Yeah, white has all the removal. All the allies are like red, white, black. If you can get the vampires going, they play off of gaining life, and there's like a 2-cost vampire dude that when an ally comes in, opponents lose 1, you gain 1. There's a white-black vampire that's a 2/2 flyer that at start of upkeep, lose 1, gain 1. And then there's a couple of vampire. There's one that's like a 4-cost uncommon. It's a 3/3 flyer. Whenever an opponent loses, whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on her.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some crazy synergies. And then there's the mythic, the 2/1 or whatever she is, 2/3. No, she's 2/3 flying first strike. When she does combat damage, put a +1/+1 counter on all attacking creatures. Now the first strike.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Do you see why it's even more powerful?
Yeah.
Because first strike combat damage happens before regular combat damage.
Yeah.
So she hits first because she has first strike. Then all your other people from behind get that trigger. They're all getting +1/+. Yeah. So that's why she's such a costly card. Because people are just trying to find a way to fit her in decks.
Well, I mean, if you want to break the entire meta, you might as well.
Yeah. She's really good. So I've not opened her yet. I've opened a couple of Gideons, and I'm probably going to sell one of them. Because sadly, red-white allies just not doing it in standard. Standard right now, we have the Pro Tour coming up by the time you're listening to this. It comes out the weekend after we record this. But right now, all the top decks are either the Atarka Red, which is like goblins with a few sorted green cards, and a bunch of 5-color or 4-color decks.
Wait, 5-color?
Yes, 5-color Bring to Light. Yes, that is one of the top decks right now.
Okay.
And it's viable because you have the Khan's fetch lands, and then instead of reprinting the Zendikar lands like some thought, I knew they wouldn't do it at least in this set. But what they've introduced are, they're calling them the battle lands for Battle for Zendikar. So they'll tap for one of 2 colors of mana. And they come in tapped unless you have 2 basic lands. So if you have 2 basic lands in play, then these are basically like old school dual lands. So, and then there's a card called Bring to Light. It's like 3 green blue or 3 green blue. And it's like search your deck for a card that's less than or equal to the number of colors that you use to cast it, and you can play that spell for free.
Jeez.
So yeah, and then it runs Siege Rhinos, and it just basically you just tutor everything out of your deck, and just you have such powerful cards, and you have every top card available to you, and you just wreck face.
Okay.
And then you have all the Jeskai decks add in black, and Jeskai, it's like, oh, well, there's no longer instant speed removal that costs 3 for black, so Mantis Rider is suddenly really powerful again. And Jace is really powerful, and the new Jace from Origins is now an $80 card. It's the first time there's been an $80 card in Standard since I've been playing. I've played for 2.5 years now. There's never been an $80 Standard card. I mean, we're talking, it's literally $80 right now because it's played in Standard, it's played in Modern, it's played in Legacy, it's played in all 4 formats, all 4 single-player formats.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so right now there's just not really any good 1 or 2 color decks. So I'm just going to play a lot of draft, and I'm going to draft as much as I can, and hope with the return of Chandra in the next set that we finally get some red cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've had a lot of fun. I pulled a lot of stuff, and I was able to get fat packs for MSRP, so I have my extended art lands.
Okay.
That was a big controversy. Wizards cut the supply of fat packs, and the first run, or the only run of fat packs here, have each fat pack would come with a land pack. It would come like 80 land cards, like 13 or so of each color.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, who cares about that?
Right.
But in Battle for Zendikar, they're full art, just like they were in Zendikar.
Okay.
And because Wizards cut the supply and the demand increased for fat packs, some stores, sold them at $40 and immediately sold out. All the Walmarts and Targets, if you try to go, they're all sold out. They were selling them at $42. But then you have stores that are charging $50, $60 and up for fat packs.
Oof.
But I was able to buy 2 fat packs from one of the stores here in St. Louis at normal price, and then between all of I traded all my crap rares from the 2 pre-releases, and I had a $10 off coupon to this store, and I was able to get a 3rd fat pack for free. So
Okay.
I have one of the fat pack land packs I use for limited now. Like when I draft, I'll have all extended art. I have a full set of lands to draft with, and then I have like 180, 200 extended art lands between the other 2 fat pack land packs, and then all the lands I pull, because each pack, the basic in there is extended art.
Okay.
So I was able to get all my extended art lands. So I wasn't smart enough when Zendikar was out. I didn't buy a fat pack, and I didn't, I kept a handful of those extended art cards, but I should have collected them then, but I didn't know better. I didn't know, so.
I mean, you were new at the game back then.
Right. Yeah. But I know now, so I'm really liking Limited just for the sheer fact that there is a valid strategy for going, for under the curve. Now, you can go green, blue Eldrazi and bring out the big Eldrazi, and there's a bunch of them, and yeah, I mean, you can go that way too, but...
Oh, they're back.
Yes.
You didn't mention that before.
Well, the Zendikar, the battle for Zendikar is the normal creatures trying to fight off the Eldrazi. Hence the title, Battle for Zendikar.
Are they at least balanced?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Except for Ulamog.
What's his deal?
When he's cast, whether he is countered or not, he gets to exile 2 permanents.
Ow. But
that's his only exile of permanents. Annihilator's gone. No Annihilator.
Whew, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. When Ulamog attacks, now he costs 10 to cast, so I mean, obviously there are ways to ramp up the
little bit more balance, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were all the Eldrazi cost big, but I mean, there's still like the Scions. They're Scions now instead of 0/1s that sack to produce mana. Now they're 1/1s. So them being 1/1s, people are sometimes reluctant to sack them because, I mean, you can attack with them, you can block with them, because there's very little trample in the set. There's also very little flying, which is why white's so good, because white and black are so good, because they have the only flyers almost. There's a couple in blue. Yeah. But like there's some white flyers that when they hit the field, if they don't get answered, they just dominate.
Okay.
Like there's a 2/2 flyer for 3. There is a 3/3 vigilance flyer for 5. That one's really good.
Ooh.
Yeah. But anyway, so when Ulamog attacks, he exiles the top 20 cards of the Defender's library.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he gets on the board and gets an attack in, it's pretty much game.
Yeah.
Especially in Limited, because that would be, half a standard, limited deck is 40 cards, so
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you get to them, you're going to be at 30 or fewer cards, so you just exile 2/3 of the deck with the attacks. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
But and then there are some others as well, but none of them. There's only one I think that has trample. I mean they have some powerful abilities. Don't get me wrong, but there's also smaller ones. There are ones now that exile cards like they have ingesters and processors. So they have like little spawny things that when they do damage, it exiles a card from the opponent's deck, the top card. And then there's these processors that come in and, well, if there's cards exiled, they come in and they put those cards in the graveyard and then you get some bonus effect. So there's those as well. So the set's just a lot more balanced than Rise was. It's a lot more fun to play, I think.
Yeah.
But it's called, none of these Eldrazi's, are, you're not going to see people putting these into Legacy and Modern decks. They're not, like Ulamog is the only Eldrazi that's worth more than like $5.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Because, man, those were really bad.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see when they put them in Magic Duels, because I've not seen them say anything about putting Rise of the Eldrazi in there yet. But that was the whole process with them going fully free to play with this new, Magic Duels, was that, well, now we don't have to do one every year. We'll just add the cards in.
Okay.
That's why they went the whatchamacallit route, the Hearthstone route.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That way they could just add the sets in as they come out.
Okay.
But, all right, so that's the Magic talk.
Yeah, I gotta get into that game again.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the video games.
Okay.
Let's start with a Vita.
Playing.
Let's start with a Vita game.
All right.
Persona 4: Dancing All Night.
Do.
Man, that's a great game.
So what exactly is the gameplay? Is it just a rhythm game?
Yes, it's basically Rock Band Unplugged / Rock Band Blitz.
Okay.
Except more rhythm. I mean, it's that cross Hatsune Miku. I mean, you're not simulating instrument playing, you're simulating dancing,
right, yeah.
But so, your character, there's a lot, your character's on screen. There are 6 buttons spread out in an oval. It's like up, left, down on the D-pad, and triangle, circle, X on the buttons. Mm-hmm. And you'll have notes go out to one of those symbols. You have to hit it when it hits, when they line up. There's also ones you have to hold the button down, and it's like it's like in Guitar Hero or Rock Band. There'll be the ones you have to hold it. You have to hold the note or whatever.
Yeah.
So that type of stuff, and there'll be other ones where you have to hit 2 at once, and the difficulty changes how many are going out at once and how quickly they go out and how many notes you can miss before you fail the song.
Okay.
The nice thing that was in the day 1 patch for the US version was, besides the note hitting, there were scratches. There would be these lines that would go out, and when they reached the symbols, you were supposed to hit one of the analog sticks, and that would be like a scratch. And if you had the sound effects on, you would hear like the record scratch. And then there would also be fever rings, which you'd have to hit 3 of those, and then that would trigger a duet. Like your dance partner would come out, and your score. That's basically the different. What is it? What were the things called in Guitar Hero and Rock Band? It's been so long. You know what I'm talking about, when like you would hit the special notes and you'd tilt the guitar, what Star Power, and I forget what Rock Band called it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Either. Yeah, now I know what you mean.
Like Star Power.
I'm thinking in my head, are you talking about Star Power?
Yes, Star Power.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, so it would have that mode. So you hit this fever ring.
Hero mode.
Hero mode. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what they called it, Guitar Hero, because original.
Yeah. So Star Power, whatever. So it's that same thing. It's like, yeah, your score, it's a score multiplier, and there's a rating thing, like you have to finish the song with a high enough rating to clear it.
Yeah.
So same type of thing. The fever rings come out fewer and fewer on the lower difficulties. You have to hit 3 to trigger the mode, and the mode can only be triggered up to 2 times per song, and it's set parts of the song where the duet will happen. So if you don't have 3 fevers before that section happens, then you just don't get the fever in that section.
Okay.
And then if you complete the song, it's really cool because then it summons the persona, and the persona does like a little it'll, instead of a weapon, it'll have an instrument, and it'll play the end couple frames of the song, and then all the shadows all get returned to normal. I mean, there's story stuff in there that I don't want to spoil too much, but basically
Okay.
it's a different Midnight Realm where violence is not allowed. So that's why
Okay.
you can't, there's no fighting. So everything's to free the shadows of that midnight area, you have to express your feelings through dance. Because the entity controlling that area is wanting, no emotion, doing what everybody wants you to do. Just no, there's going to be no hurt. Just let yourself go and do what everybody wants you to do, and you won't hurt anymore. And
Yeah, he sounds like a blast.
yeah, well, let's just say it.
All right, it
Yeah.
sounds like a blast.
Yeah. So the story mode can be played on either easy or normal. I did on easy, and I got through it. So
Okay.
I need to do it on. I think there's one trophy you have to do it on normal. There's one trophy you have to do it on. You have to do all the songs on normal to get another character to be available.
All right.
So I have to do that now. And then there's also free dance mode where you just you play the different songs, and as you complete songs, you unlock them. And there's 4 different difficulty, and you have to beat all the songs once to trigger a prologue cutscene that takes place before the story mode. And that's like the 2 story achievements I don't have is beat everything on normal to unlock this character, and beat all the songs on free dance to unlock this 50-minute cutscene.
Wait. What?
Yeah, it's like a 30, 50 some odd minute cutscene that opens. It's a prologue, before. It takes place before the events of the game, and it sets up.
That's not a cutscene. That's a movie.
Well, yeah, I mean it's all text. It's all like text and voice. So a story section.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the story mode will probably take you about 8 to 10 hours to beat. That's about what it took me.
Yeah.
And I have to hand it to Atlas. Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
They finally did a collector's edition worthy of the Persona 1 limited edition, day 1 edition, whatever again. And all this junk, all these El Cheapo soundtracks of 5, 6, 4 songs. Yeah, no, not with this one. 2-disc, 63-song soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty sizable.
Yep. Plus the DLC voucher, which was $5 worth of DLC, but whatever, it was free. The super cool Vita pouch with Teddy all over it, and then the logo of the game embossed on the other side. What else? The cool box it was in. Oh yeah, there was the wallpapers to download for the Vita, and then there was the skin for the Vita, which I can't use because it's only for the Vita Slim. But oh well. Oh, and a Teddy keychain, and oh my gosh, this keychain. I have been waiting literally 20 years for a keychain that is not the standard keychain where you have to take a knife or something to split the rings to put the keys on. This has like the pull latch, and then you just put the keys on and close the latch. I've been trying to find a key ring that does this for 20 years, ever since the one I got in 8th grade Used it for a couple years, and then it broke down, and I've not found one since. And oh my gosh, this Teddy keyring does that.
That's a epic search, huh?
Yes, I know that sounds stupid, and I don't care.
That's fine.
So yeah, that limited edition was awesome. So
Okay.
much, much better than the one from Persona Q. So I am more than happy with my 2-disc soundtrack. I am.
I mean, if you wanted that case,
Yeah, I mean the case, the
I'd say
soundtrack.
it was probably worth the price that they're offering for it now.
Well, yeah, now, yeah,
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah, it is cheaper. I don't know what's going to happen with this Vita one because like GameStop sold out of it. Haven't looked on Amazon since it came out.
Well, my guess would be it was printed in a much, much smaller run.
Yeah, I mean the Persona 4 Golden Collector's Edition on Vita. I mean that thing still goes for $200 sealed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've never missed another Persona. It's like I got the Persona Q one, I got the Dancing All Night one. It's like I am not missing another Persona limited edition.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the only Vita game I've played. Although I did utilize at my primary jobs being at one of the few stores that has Wi-Fi, and I backed up my games and put in my 64 gig card, that memory card or memory chip that I had for a few months and never done anything with, and now I've got that thing completely filled. So I've got 95% of the Vita download games that I own, quote unquote, mostly through PlayStation Plus. I have 95% of them on my Vita now.
Okay.
Because I finally have a 64 gig card, and that frees up.
And they're super expensive normally.
Yeah. I mean, I got one on a deal, but when I'm talking deal, I'm talking $80.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Still can't believe they never, ever decided, well, all right, fine, we'll go with Flash.
Well, it was because of how much piracy was on the PSP. So they had to make a proprietary format, and then that jacked up the price.
Well, that was still their own format anyway on PSP.
Well, they used memory sticks, which
a
bunch of others used too. Like there was enough memory stick usage that it was able to be pirated. Because it was the same technology behind the PS2 memory cards. It was still Magic Gate, and that was busted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah. It was the same technology behind the PS2 memory cards, just in a smaller thing, but enough Sony digital cameras were out there, enough stuff used memory sticks that it was able to be cracked. Plus the PS2, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to PS4. Life is Strange. We're about T-minus 9 days away from the finale. I picked it up last night, actually, while something was downloading, and I went through to get all the pictures from episode 4 I had missed. I didn't miss that many, I only missed like 5.
Okay.
4 or 5. So I have every single trophy waiting for episode 5. So.
Alrighty.
Yep, that comes out as we're recording this 9 days away.
Alright. I guess I'll have to go and start playing the first episodes and get through all those before the last one comes out.
Yeah.
Because I own it on Xbox One.
Yay!
That was back when it was on sale for the first time.
Yep. Alright, good. Now you can get caught up.
Okay.
Alright, plays a lot of Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Alright.
I beat Mega Man 2, I beat Mega Man 3, and I've started Mega Man 4.
Okay.
So I want to beat all the Mega Mans.
Except for one.
Well, no, it's the NES versions. I can beat it. It's this Mega Man Legacy Collection are just ripped their NES ROMs.
Or did you beat the first one then? Because I don't remember.
I've done it before, but I didn't start with it. Because that's what I mean. That's the hardest one. Well.
Oh, you're saving it for the last one?
Yes, I'm saving it for last.
Okay.
Because of freaking Gutsman stage. And those stupid platforms.
It's been too long. I don't remember.
Okay, well.
I've played way too many other Mega Man games.
Right. So yeah, so I've been playing that off and on. It's also a good thing while stuff's downloading to play. It
Yeah.
doesn't require the internet, so.
Yeah, that'll be a thing later
Okay.
in my section.
Alright, so the thing I've played probably about the most is Madden 16 Mutt. Played a lot of that. A lot of the single player. I haven't really played online, but like I was telling you before the show, they have done so much this year to improve the solo Mutt. Like, there are challenges. There are 6 challenges in terms of like throw 2 touchdown passes, get a sack, that type of stuff. There's 6 of those every week. If you can complete all 6, you get a free pack. There's all the different game modes that are for solos and the rewards. Like if you go through there, if you get into the higher difficulty solo challenges, you get free elite players. Now you can't sell them, but they're free elite players.
Yeah.
And just like before, I mean, there's no trophy this time, but you want to get to an 85 rated team. That way you can have 2 different styles going at the same time to get 2 different sets of buffs. Arguably, most likely you would want 1 offensive style and 1 defensive style instead of just 1 offensive or 1 defensive.
Just a quick thing. For people who don't know, it's Madden Ultimate Team.
Yes. Sorry.
That's why you keep calling it MUT.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. The card mode. So, yeah. Played quite a bit of that. And there's more weekly games. Like normally before there would have been like 1 weekly game. Now there's like 5 or 6 different ones every week. Or no, there would always be like 2 before. There'd be like 2. And now there's like 5 to 6 a week. So
what made them change it?
Just to improve the mode, and like, because there'll be like one, it's like, okay, well, you're losing with less than 2 minutes to go, beat this and we'll give you a bunch of contracts for free.
Okay.
Contracts are the things, your players play a game that spends a contract, you have to fill the contracts back up. So it was hard before. You'd spend, there was very little way to get contracts other than buying them for a crap ton of coins. But now they do a lot of bonus things to get you contracts. And then the Sunday night game, which is playing in the other room, there's 2 games based off that. And then there's 1 game based off the team of the week, which is where they take all the best players from the week and put them on a team, and they release cards of them, but then you play the team that's made up of all those cards. And if you do it every week, if you do it every week, by the time the playoffs get done, you'll get a free elite player if you've done it every week. So, and then there's that, the 2 Sunday nights. Right now, there's BCA ones for the breast cancer awareness, and then there's one on Sundays that I tried to do the first one, and it was so hard I just quit. There's one that they do every Sunday, and it's already started, and it's only available on Sunday, and it's a super hard one. And if you were to beat all 50 of them, because it's one based off every Super Bowl, that's really hard. If you beat all 50 of them, you get a super duper Steve Young card when the Super Bowl happens. But it was just way too hard. Like, I tried a bunch on the first week, and I was like, well, I'm out of time, and it's worthless to do this challenge ever again when it comes up, because I won't have all the cards, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the couple for the movie. Like, remember I said that I missed some of them. And I ended up buying that card that if you'd done those challenges, you would have gotten for free. But I had to buy the card because I missed that one night I didn't play. Was the one night that I needed to play. So, yeah, they've just done a lot of stuff. And it's a lot easier to enjoy that mode single player than it was last year.
I mean, that's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I need to start playing online against others. It's just with my connection, like the first time I tried to do it, the connection was spotty.
Yeah.
But all right, so in the middle of all this, I tried to swap hard drives again.
Right. There was a story with this now again.
Yeah, so I think I talked about on the last episode. I swapped hard drive,
Yeah, the
and
first part. Yeah.
yeah, and then everything's corrupted, and oh gosh. Ugh. So I send that hard drive back, get refunded, and then we go with another hard drive, and I do the backup process so I don't lose PT, and that's a 12-hour thing to back up the hard drive and restore it once I swap it, and
Mm-hmm.
then it starts happening again.
Huh.
And I'm like, come on, there's no way that I got two faulty hard drives here.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
And then I was like, wait a minute. What's the one thing that was the same both times? The first game I installed was Metal Gear.
Oh, dear.
So
the disc was corrupted.
the disc was corrupted because I went and got a different disc. I mean, the artwork on the disc is the same. It didn't say deluxe edition or limited collector's edition. It's the same disc on the label. So I was able to exchange it out at GameStop. I ordered it online, but I was able to do a defective exchange on it, and now everything works fine. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive in my PS4.
Well, so do you think the other hard drive was still broken?
No. And I've gotten a couple questions on my Amazon review. I probably need to change that review. But yeah, I think it was the disc the whole time because obviously I used a different disc and now it works. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you did say that you couldn't get Diablo 3 to load last time either.
Well, no, Diablo 3 loaded, but then it did the, it was jerky and and then it loaded, but then I played it for 5 minutes and I got the same error, and I knew it was worked immediately because I put Metal Gear in and boom, it went right to, I was like, yes, it was the disc.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the other hard drives, like those $90 hard drives, then it goes to $150, and I'm just like, oh god, no. I don't want to spend that much. But yeah, it was a faulty Metal Gear disc, so. But between all that and DLC and different things, all I've gotten to play of Metal Gear Solid 5 is the first chapter. Which is the hospital scene, and just, wow, WTF and all that.
It's a weird opening, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently watching Drew Scanlon play through it.
Ah, yeah.
Man, that's a weird opening, though.
Yeah, it really is. So I need to play that, but the problem is we got through some DLC, which I'm getting ready to talk about right now, but now we've got Witcher, and then right after that we got Divinity, and then right after that we've got we got Life is Strange, but that's only a couple hours, but then we got Divinity, and then we got Fallout, and so the DLC I'm mentioning, Dragon Age Inquisition. Trespasser came out. So that's what stopped me from playing Metal Gear, because I gotta play Trespasser, because this is the final DLC and the final thing that's, in the Dragon Age universe. I mean, this is literally going to be it for Dragon Age, other than maybe a comic or something for years.
Yeah, I think we mentioned something about that last episode.
Yeah, but I actually played the DLC. I mean, I went and double-checked the timestamp of beating it. Now, maybe I had started it last episode, but I beat it.
Think so? You might have actually beaten it. I don't remember.
I double-checked because the PlayStation timestamps the trophies if you're online. We recorded the last episode on the 12th. I got the trophy on the 17th.
Okay.
So maybe I had started it.
Yeah, I think you might have.
Yes, I had started it, but I had only done all the, hey, talk to all your friends and just, but, you won't be able to talk once you start the meeting, and that's what I had done. I had done a bunch, all the talking stuff.
Okay.
I hadn't done the actual gameplay. So now...
Right, and then I think you warned me about some torch or something, some hidden torch somewhere. There was some torch you were talking about that if you missed it, you'd have to go through the entire thing all over again. It might have been for Hakan.
Oh, yeah, I got that trophy. And it didn't. It was just I went back to that area and there was one torch I had just missed, and as soon as I wasn't under the time pressure anymore because I'd beaten it, and
Right. Okay.
and I went and lit that torch and got the trophy.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So that must have been what I thought you were talking about originally. Okay.
Well,
So
when I was looking up online, people were speculating whether the trophy was broken, and if you missed them, if you didn't get them in the playthrough, then did you just miss? Will it not unlock? And then I looked, and then somebody online posted a map, and then I was like, oh wait, and then I was like, oh, I didn't go down here, and then I lit that torch, and then pop trophy. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing with Dragon Age, and I talked about last episode. I was trying to do everything to get I did everything while I was waiting for the second hard drive, because the patch, and there's been a second patch since then, but that patch right before Trespasser nerfed the damage that Night Enchanters do, and they put out another patch before the Game of the Year edition we'll get into later. To fix all the problems that Trespasser made.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So, so I have beaten everything there is with Dragon Age. I cannot wait until you do the DLC so we can do a spoiler cast about it, because oh my gosh, it was just so awesome. It sets up whatever the fourth Dragon Age game is going to be. You know exactly where it's going to take place. You know the villain. Just... oh, it's so awesome.
If they ever get the chance to make it.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
So the next thing to talk about is NBA 2K16.
Okay.
And I bought into the hype, and I listened to one of the advertisements about the career mode, and I bit into the hype, and it does a lot of cool things in the presentation, like it does interviews of the players, and it does a lot of awesome things, and I bit into the hype, and I used my Gamer Club Unlocked, and I got the Michael Jordan Collector's Edition for 20% off from Best Buy.
You can't go wrong with a Jordan Collector's Edition.
Right, and it came with more virtual currency. It came with 3 times the amount of virtual currency the normal one did. It unlocked a bunch of Jordan items for my career. It came with a poster and a fat head, which was a sticker.
Right, yeah.
Is about the...
Still don't know why they called them fatheads, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a tiny, tiny sticker. But...
oh, it was a tiny one?
Well, it's like smaller than a postcard.
That's pretty small, for a fathead.
Like if you've ever seen a DLC slip on a PS3 or a PS4 game, because it's Blu-ray size, it's about that big.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, that's pretty small for one of those kinds of stickers.
Right, exactly.
Because those things are like wall size normally.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I was a little disappointed with that. But
yeah.
Anyway, so I loved the 2K14 my career. 2K15's was okay. I had to delete it to make room on the hard drive, but 2K15's was just a little I didn't like the tone of the character. You were kind of I talked about last year, you were kind of a jack bleep, whether you were trying to be nice or not, and
you were kind of a douche.
Yeah, you were kind of a douche. Even if you were trying to do the positive thing, you still came off like a bit of a douche. So, it was okay. But I had to delete it for space issues. And
right.
So, we get to 2K16 with My Life, the Spike Lee joint and all this. All right. And...
time for the tightrope.
Time for the tightrope. So, in the career mode, regardless of the ethnicity that you make of the character, and you can make a Caucasian, you can make an Asian, you can make a African American, you can make a Hispanic, whatever.
Okay.
Regardless of whatever race you make the character, You have a set
Mm-hmm.
nickname from the career mode for the career mode of frequency vibrations, or freak for short.
Okay, this is already going in a weird direction.
You are the son of African American and birth son, not adopted, birth son of African American postal workers living in Harlem. And you have a fraternal twin sister who is your advisor and eventually later on your manager.
Uh,
And the entire career mode is about you being born and raised by your African American parents. And, you have an African American friend who's kind of a loser that everybody hates but you, and everybody kind of wonders why you're around them. And then there's a dark thing that's revealed about 2/3 of the way through the career mode, which is why, even though your owner is threatening to to fire you and throw you out of the league if you don't disassociate yourself with this guy, come to find out, you find out why that you stay with this guy through thick and thin. When you get signed to the NBA, your parents come out, and because people want to know why are you called frequency vibrations, and they come out, oh, while you were in the womb, you were kicking, but then we put some music on, and then you started kicking to the rhythm, so that's why we called you frequency vibrations, because you kicked to the rhythm. You kicked to the rhythm of the music, and to the rhythm of the music, and and like I said, it's birth parents. You're not adopted, so if you're a Caucasian saying this, and
that just seems like a weird oversight. Like, Spike, you do know you can change the race of your character, right?
or if that was an option, like even if they had done
Oh, man.
like a choice, like if he wanted the family oriented story that he did,
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
because
Just make it an adopted son.
yeah,
There you go. There's your problem solver.
because like Fallout, if you make an African American or Hispanic, and because they talk about this on the Giant Bomb Quick Look, and that's the best discussion of this. So because you have two white guys and an African American guy all talking about it, and I kind of contributed to the African American guy bringing it up, so they had a really in-depth conversation about it. I'm sure the sports podcast that I listened to, I'm sure they did as well. I just haven't listened to it yet, whereas I did watch the Giant Bomb Quick Look. So there are probably smart discussions taking about it. And because like in Fallout, if you had an African American character, your father was African American. They changed the race, the visual race of your father.
Huh. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did not know that either. Austin Walker brought that up because he had an African American in Fallout, so your dad becomes African American. They changed the skin tone of your father. So, and
Learned something new.
yeah, I try to be really sensitive because obviously where I live now is not exactly known for the best race relations. Let's just leave it at that.
They're pretty tense.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's not just St. Louis. That tension goes all the way down Missouri, all the way down to the Boot Hill.
It's in most of the southern states.
Well, and Missouri's not exactly southern, neither is Illinois. And it goes all the way down Illinois, all the way down. I would say it's even worse in southern Illinois because it is segregated as much as St. Louis County is, but because of the landmass it covers, like there are African American high schools, there are white high schools. I went to a white high school. I did not outside and went to a white grade school. Outside of one semester when I was in second grade, I did not go to school with an African American until my freshman year at Murray State.
See, that's unfortunate.
And in high school, there was a half Hispanic family, so two girls. So my high school was all Caucasian with two Hispanic girls, and that was it. And there were, in our athletic conference, there was Century. Century High School was the black high school of the conference. And yes, there was there was a racial just kind of miasma over that you could just feel in the air when Century and Goreville played each other.
Mm.
Or Goreville and Cairo, because Cairo is all African American pretty much.
Right.
Cairo is, of course, where the rivers meet at the very bottom of Southern Illinois, a town that is really in bad shape in the last 100 years. So, so I try to be sensitive to these issues.
Right.
And I understand it's very hard for African Americans. I will never understand what it's like for an African American to like popular media when 80-90% of the characters presented are Caucasian.
Yeah.
But I think what you're helping direct me to, what I'm trying to convey is that, let's say like Geralt, for example, in Witcher. Yes, you don't get to customize Geralt. He is who he is. He is who he is, but there's a reason why that world, that area that the Witcher world takes place in, there's a separate area where there's darker skinned people, and the reason Geralt is whiter than most is because he took extra mutagens. So, there are story and thematic reasons why Geralt's whiter. He's ghostly pale compared to the other. And then there's a whole section of the Witcher universe that I think the second expansion goes into. Not this first one, but the second one I think is going to that area. I think it's going to Oxenfurt. I think that's where all the dark-skinned characters are based out of in the Witcher universe. I think the second expansion is what's going up there. So, and that's a section that's never been seen in the Witcher games. It's been in the Witcher novels, but just never in the games.
Right.
So, and then, we discussed Fallout already. And even like Dragon Age, you can make, or Mass Effect in the BioWare games, you can make an African-American character. Your parents may come up in like side conversations, but it's just something that comes up. They're referred to in side conversations. In Mass Effect,
you wouldn't normally see pictures.
You wouldn't see pictures. In Mass Effect, you can actually take a call from them depending on if you chose that, like you were the explorer. If you chose the explorer backstory, then like your mother is a captain on one of the other ships, on some other ship in the fleet. So, like, you can have conversations with her, but you never see her. So, that it works. And the reason, like, 2K14, which is still my favorite of these 3 career modes they've done, 2K14, you've got you, and then you've got your African-American buddy who played with you on the high school team and acts as your first agent. And that works no matter if you're white, if you're black, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, you went to the same school, you were best friends growing up, and now, you were tall enough to get into the NBA. He stayed short, but he went to business school, and now he's going to be your agent. That works.
Mm-hmm.
What Spike has done has taken a portion, I don't know how significant, but it's taken a portion of the people, and My Career is the most popular mode now in 2K. The whole controversy with 2K14, and actually because of 2K16, I've gotten a copy of 2K14 back, and I'm going to start playing that again because that's still my favorite career mode. I'm the furthest along in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the always online thing and the virtual currency, whereas that currency in Madden is limited to the Ultimate Team, in the career mode in NBA, that virtual currency that you either earn or buy is tied into the career mode as well, which is why the career mode tends to be always online.
Yeah.
So it just makes me like less eager to play the game because it's 2 hours of cutscenes you have to go through. Because Chris Smooth, if you go on his YouTube channel, you can watch his...
Wait, 2 hours straight?
No. There's games interspersed. But if
Okay,
you
because that 2 hours straight would be a little
no,
rough.
well there are sections that are 20 minutes long. There are cutscenes you have to watch that
That's
are like 20.
that's still pretty long, yeah.
Yeah, but Chris Smooth went and he's one of the top sports YouTubers out there. You can go and look. He cut all the if you cut out all the Spike Lee movies, it makes a 2-hour movie without the gameplay. And the other
Okay.
thing is to get his story in there, the gameplay of the career mode just falls flat until the Spike Lee portion is done, which is after your rookie NBA season.
Okay, so
Because
how so does it fall flat?
okay, you're in high school in New York, and you play
Hmm.
2 games against your crosstown rivals, and then you play a third state championship game. And no
Okay.
matter how you perform in those games, you are pursued by 10 of the top colleges in the nation. Read the 10 colleges that 2K licensed for the game, and you choose one of those colleges to go to. And
Hmm.
like in between the high school games, you have these colleges give you their speech. Like they're sitting at your home table, kitchen table, and they give you a 1 to 2 minute speech why you should choose that school.
All right.
And then like after the high school mode's done, you're being videotaped to send out which school you choose, and you've got the jersey hidden, and you pick which school from a menu, and then you're like, I chose this school. So then you go to college. Then you have 4 games you play in college. And no matter what happens, you are still driven by your sister, your new girlfriend you meet in college, who is always the same no matter which college you choose, and then your friend, your high school friend, and your new agent, and you are driven by them over the vetoes of your parents to go pro after your first year. And no matter how you perform in those 4 college games, you go in the first round of the draft into the NBA. Now, there is a slight modifier. If you don't do well, depending on how well you do, is how early in the first round you go.
Mm.
Some people have been taken like very back. Chris Smooth, I think, went like 6th. So then you have the story heats up. You have 5 or 6 games as a rookie with the Spike Lee story mode still going, and there's tension between the team owner and your friend. Your friend's already gotten into some trouble. You've had to pay you had to pay money to keep it quiet, and this culminates in something that isn't even possible in the NBA. Your drafted team, when you're a first round draft pick, you have a 3-year guaranteed contract, or it's like
Hmm.
2 or 3 years guaranteed with a team option for the next year. So
Okay.
you are just let go, and after your first year in the NBA, and then because of your association still with this guy, and then you have teams competing for you as a free agent, and then when you finally sign your free agent contract after your rookie season, which while it made sense in 2K15 the way they styled that, it does not make sense in 2K16 when you're a first round draft pick. Sorry to get technical on the, but this is
No, that's fine.
realism.
It actually makes total sense so far.
So you've been, you're pursued, but you've got this baggage of this other guy, but teams are still pursuing you. And then something happens the day you sign your free agent contract, and then you get introduced to the voice and motion caption actors, and Spike Lee does his, this was really cool and different. Hey, crew, come on in here. Bye, everybody. And then roll credits. And then the career mode starts fully in season 2 of your NBA career. The career mode
Weird.
opens up. But
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty
still
weird.
referenced. Stuff is still referenced. Like the opening game of the second year. Everybody's talking about the tragic event that happened to you. Not to you, but of someone you know.
Right.
Quote unquote. You can probably put together what happened.
I got a few ideas.
Yeah. So that stuff is still referenced in the second year. So it's just now as far as I know, nothing else ever. There's no other cutscenes. You don't see your parents or your girlfriend or your sister ever again. But it's referenced at least in that first unlocked season. But I don't know what else happens. I haven't watched all Chris Smooth's stuff since then, but I was just like, man, I just don't want to play this. I mean,
well, it sounds like Spike didn't get enough editing during the process of trying to make the story.
And somebody didn't say, looked at it at the end and be like, hey, Spike. And then this was Alex Navarro's line, who's reviewing it for Giant Bomb. Somebody didn't go to Spike and say, hey, Spike, that there are multiple races that like our game. Because, I mean, it just looks weird. I mean, if you weren't...
That's a weird oversight to not think of that for the story.
If it mentioned these things, if these characters were put together, like if you didn't have the parents and you didn't have them drill the paternal thing, fraternal twins, your mom and dad, you were dancing in the womb, that's why you're called frequency vibrations, your friend's parents both died for different reasons, and you took him in, and your mom and dad were basically his mom and dad. If it didn't stress all these familial ties that you had to go through, meanwhile, here's my white guy, it's just, it'd be the same thing if you were an Asian or a Hispanic, it just doesn't mesh.
Somebody didn't go to him and say, yeah, you might want to give us a little bit of extra wiggle room for this, because you can customize the character.
Right. And it's not just African Americans that play, but
yeah.
But the problem is, I mean, that does sound pretentious to say that, but I think any other time that it's been done, even if parents are mentioned, they're never seen. It's just, it breaks the bond. Like, this is supposed to be your career, your story.
Yeah.
And it just breaks it just breaks the immersion. It just breaks the immersion. And you're just, like 2K14, that was my guy. 2K15, that was my guy.
It's an off year.
Yeah.
They tried something interesting.
Didn't work.
It kind of worked.
Kind of, yeah. But the thing is, like, this is being called the best sports game of all time. And there's some other things with the game. First off, the menu is just, whereas Madden's menu is really nice and improved, 2K's is just, I don't hate it as much as Giant Bomb did, but it's not as good. And then also, like 2K16, 2K has this weird thing. They like to tweak their control system like every year. Like every year the game controls slightly different than the previous year. And of course this is one of those years. Now 2K14, you had this full tutorial mode where it's like, okay, here's the move, and then it's like, okay, now you do the move, and it had all this stuff, and you could just sit there and practice moves to your heart's content. Or like do scrimmages, whatever. 2K16, the tutorial is 3 videos where they have an NBA guy telling you, well, this is how you do it, and it's showing you the button presses, but you never get to try it. And the only thing you can do is a scrimmage, a 5-on-5 scrimmage. But it doesn't like, okay, this is the move, and then it lets you try to do it, and it keeps making you try to do it until you do it. So the tutorial is absolutely horrible. Whereas Madden has this expansive tutorial. Where even someone like you, if you were interested enough, could pick it up and eventually learn enough to be competent at Madden.
Thank you for the compliment.
Well, I mean, it literally has a section.
Being funny.
I know. It literally has a section that says, never played Madden? Start here.
That's, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, whereas if you were starting 2K16, good luck. You'll need it. So, I took my disappointment of that, and I decided, well, I want to play 2K14 before they turn off the servers. Because they're going to turn them off here pretty soon. And I was able to sell 2K16. I put it on Amazon. It sold within hours for $60. So I essentially sold it for what I paid for it. Because of Best Buy discount.
Right.
And I've sold a few other things. I've sold the Witcher 2 strategy guide. I sold my old Beats headphones. I've sold one magic card in the process of selling some others. I got a couple other knickknacks I'm selling. And Target had this thing come up. Their cartwheel thing, which I've just now started doing, where it was for a week last week, it was 15% off a certain thing. And I'm like, well, I've sold enough stuff here, and if I sell some more stuff, that will basically cover most of the cost of this, and I can afford it right now, and I'm sick and tired of not being able to play stuff with the ragtag, so that cartwheel coupon was 15% off of an Xbox One.
And not just any Xbox One.
Oh no, because you know me anymore, I gotta go special edition or nothing.
Yep.
So Jason, because he didn't
So
want...
you got the Halo one, right?
No.
Eh?
No.
No.
Halo one's not out yet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Plus it's $100 more.
Yeah.
No. And I didn't want to start over on Madden because I've put enough into, the PlayStation. I will start over in Madden. I will start doing sports games on Xbox next year.
Right.
So I went with, so far, the only Xbox to come out to make special noises. The Halo one will as well, but that one's not out yet. I bought the Forza 6 bundle. That makes car noises when you turn it on and off.
Honk honk.
And it's blue. And the controller is blue with the Forza strip on it.
The blue part. That's pretty good, though.
Yeah. It's a pretty slick looking console.
Yeah. Really wish they'd do more colors for consoles again.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so many, though.
No.
It's
PlayStation has done a few. I mean, they've done
a couple,
they've done,
but not much.
They've done the 20th anniversary gray, which good luck if you got one. They've done two different white ones. They did a gray Batman one, and they're doing a black Darth Vader one. So that's 5. That's more.
Yeah, but the thing is, the PlayStation's already black, so that's not that different.
Well, no.
Yes, I know it has Vader's print on it,
it's Vader's face on it. So yeah.
That's really not that
but for
much.
somebody like Flesh Ribbon, or somebody that's a big Star Wars nut, that's.
I am a big Star Wars fan.
Yep.
Love Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's not enough. It's not enough of a difference.
So I got an Xbox One. I'm in the middle of selling stuff to help pay for it. I will have it mostly paid off, but I had to do it. It was a 1-week coupon, so it ended yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was the bundle I wanted. That was available. And the same day, a deal came up on the oldbuy.com, which is now Rakuten.com, where Year of Live was half off. But it's a physical card in the mail. And then my system came with a 2-week code, so I have the 2-week gold right now. And by the time that card ships, I'll have fully gold again. Yep. I have a handful of games that once that gold activates, I will have access to from games with gold. And then there are free games to play, like, say, Magic Duels Origins. Yeah. So I played a little bit of that before the show ended. And it's Magic Duels of the Planeswalkers. I'm going through the story mode, and I'm using the pre-made deck to go through story mode, and because the first chapter it gives you a pre-made deck to go through Kithian, or Gideon's, as he's known now, story, and then I think after that you have to buy a deck. So
okay,
or buy packs.
But with in-game currency.
In-game currency, yes.
Okay.
So sometime I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna download my 50 gig copy of Forza 6.
Yeah, that's it's gonna take you a while in your connection.
And I had bought the 3DS Amiibo reader and not opened it. And I returned that, and I have a code for EA Access that I'm going to redeem after we get done recording here, because I was afraid it would download and mess up the connection. So because installing that EA Access app or whatever. So so I have EA Access, so I'll have access to all kinds of stuff, including 3 different multiplayer shooters, 2 Battlefields, and a Titanfall. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because Hardline's on there now. Literally every EA game that's come out before golf is on EA Access.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to enjoy my year of EA Access. But
yeah, let's hope you can figure out how to cancel it when it comes around to the renewal time.
Well, I bought a code from GameStop.
Or keep.
Yeah, I bought a code from GameStop, so I didn't do the sign up auto renewal. It'll run out just like.
Okay.
Yeah, if you buy a code from GameStop, it's just like scratching off an Xbox code. It won't auto renew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can buy a code from GameStop. It's $30.
I didn't realize they had started doing that.
Well, it's always been, but it's really weird. Like, they promoted that GameStop was selling them, but there's not a, like, the GameStop person has to search to find it. There's not like for Madden Ultimate Team and NHL, there's a DLC section for each console that's filled with all the sports stuff and a few other things, but there's not an EA Access thing you can grab and they scan. They have to manually search for EA Access. But it's there. You can buy it, and then it doesn't auto-renew.
Okay. All right, well.
Yeah.
You've had some eventful stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. So, let's go over to you, Steven. What have you been playing?
Oh, Picross E6.
Okay.
On the 3DS.
Yep.
Just slowly been working my way through every single Picross puzzle that's put in that game. I finished up all the Mega Picross puzzles sometime last week, and then I started into the regular Picross puzzles. Yeah, they are so much easier than Mega Picross puzzles. I'm more than halfway done with them already. I've actually started noticing some repeats, which is weird. Some of the images are repeated a little bit through Mega Picross and regular Picross.
Okay.
That was odd, because normally they don't do that.
Right.
But, I guess maybe they thought, well, nobody's going to be crazy enough to do both unless they really enjoy both. Yeah, no, I'm stubborn like that.
Right.
So, just working my way through that. Still enjoying the heck out of regular Picross puzzles.
Okay.
So good. Especially because math is not that... I don't have trouble with math like some people do. And it's not my most favorite subject and all that. But, I'm okay with it.
So I would probably struggle with it because, like I've said before, number math I'm fine with. Spatial stuff I struggle with.
It's almost entirely just, okay, there are 15 spaces in this row. How many of those spaces are filled in with these 3 numbers or 5 different numbers that you're given?
Okay.
So you're given like 3 1s, an 8, and a 2.
Okay.
So figure out where the blocks go. It's a really simple, really easy to pick up puzzle game. And it starts you off with the 5x5s. So it's really simple.
Okay.
So you get the hang of it really quick. But yeah, I've just been plugging away through that. Then I was playing some Dragon Age Inquisition while Xbox Live was down. Because there was a day where Xbox Live was having a lot of trouble.
Okay.
For like 3-4 hours.
Oh dear.
It was a long outage / interruption. So I was kind of playing Dragon Age Inquisition offline in the middle of playing the party. So it's been a little bit since I've saved.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the staircase to the servants' quarters.
Uh-oh.
I finish up the first battle down there.
Mm-hmm.
Go up the staircase to the second level. And I get signed out of Xbox Live entirely. So my console signs me out. I was still playing offline. But my console signs me out. It kicks me back to the menu screen for Dragon Age. And I lose at least a half hour of progress again.
There wasn't an autosave even?
I don't think so.
Wow, that's weird, because, that thing autosaves like crazy on PlayStation, Like it does. There's like always like 3 autosaves active at all times.
It might have been a little less than 30 minutes. It probably might have been like 20 minutes. It just... I can't believe it happened again. I can't believe that happened again. There's some kind of curse on this game or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell.
And
this game just wants me to not finish it or something.
And at this point, you may not even play the Jaws of Hakan. You may just, once you get through this, want to play Trespasser and just be like, I'm done with it.
No, I still want to play Hakan because I did buy it.
Oh, you bought it. Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, so I'm still in for it.
Okay.
But it's just so weird. Up to that point, I was signed in my account.
Right.
Nothing was wrong. But at that point, kick me back out.
Yeah, I had some goofy stuff happen. I was trying to download some of these, free games that will be free. They'll be playable once I activate Gold fully again. I was trying to download some of them while I was at work, and a couple downloaded, but a couple hadn't. And I was trying to cancel the ones that hadn't before the show here, so that they weren't trying to download during the show.
Right.
And I got some weird error. It's like, oh, we don't know what happened. Try again. And some, 00 whatever Windows error code. And then it just...
I've had that happen a couple times in the store.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to download something that's free.
Yeah, and then it just kept doing it. So finally I just shut the console down.
Give it a couple of hours. It'll sort itself out.
Well, I didn't have a couple of hours, so...
In a couple hours when you go to boot it up again.
Oh, well, I pushed power, and then it was just sitting there blinking, and I pushed power again, and it turned completely off, and then I pushed power again, and it booted right up, and everything seemed okay, and everything had canceled, so I was like... Oh.
I've had that problem, too, where it just doesn't seem to want to boot proper.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there's something odd with the firmware on that one.
Yeah.
When it's in low power mode like that, it just doesn't seem to want to...
Well, see, the thing is that the low power mode, it won't download stuff while it's... You have to do like the full or the quick, the full thing, whatever, for it to download stuff while... I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm quoting the wrong name of the power mode.
No, you're right. I'm just saying, like, I can't leave it in that mode because I have to have it like the PlayStation does for it to download stuff while I've got it in whatever rest mode or whatever. Like, that has to happen with my internet connection because I'll never download anything if it can only do it while it's on.
Yep.
So... That's not an option, or it didn't seem like that was an option in low power mode on the Xbox One, whereas it is on PlayStation. So,
I mean, that's what it says it does.
It says it interrupts, like the low power mode. It will interrupt for downloads and updates. But when it says interrupt, that to me sounds like you have to tell it, okay, download this. I want it to to hit download and then leave. And shut it off, whatever, and it just keep downloading.
Oh, all right. So from my original understanding of it, that was what it was supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just now messing with this thing, so...
Well, you got time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but played a little bit of that, got a little bit further in the party. So...
Okay.
I got a little ways to go in the party, but I'm actually almost at the point where I got to start finding evidence.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that. Then I was also playing some betas.
Yep.
The open beta / closed beta for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I just didn't get around to it on, I wish I had of.
It was open on pretty much everything.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to get it downloaded and play it, and because I think that was out with all this Magic stuff, wasn't it? I think it was the last week of September. I was busy with Magic.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, because see, I was busy with Magic, and I just didn't get a chance to play it.
Yeah. Plus, they were originally saying it was going to be like a Wednesday end date for the beta, like October 1st. That's right. Yeah, it was October 1st was the day they were going to stop the beta, but then they extended it all the way out to the end of the weekend.
Oh, okay. So it was, well, still that weekend, Sunday night the 4th, when we ended up not recording, I played that
Yeah.
sealed magic event.
Oh, well,
Friday the 2nd, I did the draft. So
yeah. But yeah, once Live was, rebooted and all that,
yeah,
played a little bit of the Rainbow Six Siege beta. It's a Rainbow Six game, I think. You play what was it? 6 on 6?
something like that.
You play 6 on 6 modes of either as the defender or the attackers. The attackers are trying to get inside the location and either find a bomb and disarm it, or stand close enough in a section to capture that zone or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a chemical bomb or something in one mode, and then the other one is just a location. So it was a little confusing, but that it's your standard. You're gonna get mowed down pretty quick Tom Clancy game. It's a first-person shooter.
Yep.
There are different class/characters for either offense or defense. The character you choose has different equipment that they can use, different weaponry loadouts and stuff. So each character will have like a special item that only they have. The one I wound up playing for attacker was Nitro. His little special ability, I think you can guess, is a Nitro breaching charge, so that it can go through metallic reinforcements. Because on Defender, you could actually reinforce walls and stuff. Alright, let me back up a sec. So, again, attacker, defenders, you get... it's round-based, so it flips each time. So as an attacker, you're trying to get inside the location, you're trying to get rid of all the bad guys.
And or rescue the hostage.
Well, they didn't have rescue hostage in this one.
Oh, okay.
Not in the beta, at least.
Okay.
It was just bomb disarming, and then, like I said, location. You get inside the location, and then you capture the location or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
What else? So yeah, you're trying to get in there and trying to disarm it as a team, because individually you don't take a lot of bullets before you go down. You go down pretty quick.
Yeah.
And the only way to get back up after that is to be revived by your teammate. So your teammate has to run over and stop your bleeding and get you off the ground. But if you bleed out, that's it. You're waiting out the round.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a one and done thing. So your objective, like I said, just take out all the opposing opponents or complete the objective. Now, as a defender, the defenders have a bunch of reinforcements and barricades that they can deploy to either make the walls of the location extremely hard to punch through, or just make it a little bit more difficult to figure out where your objective is as an attacker. Each round starts with the attackers driving little remote control camera drones inside the location. Each location's pretty different in its layout. So you've got a house, you got like a mansion, like office area, and there's like a training ground for police training ground area as well. It's another map.
Mm-hmm.
So you're driving around as the drone, as the attackers, and with those drones you can mark opponents so that, okay, so they're downstairs, now they'll pop up briefly.
It's the one on wheels, right?
It's like two super big wheels that goes up stairs and stuff. It's like it's a gyro cam, basically.
Yeah. Now, can the defenders like shoot it to shut it off?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The defenders can actually shoot them. It's not easy because they are pretty small and they do move kind of fast.
Mm-hmm.
But if you lead the target enough, you can destroy them, and that'll give you a tiny little bit of XP for your class level up.
Okay.
There's a bunch of currencies that they have now in this game for unlocking the different character classes and different characters for the defenders and offense. Like I said, as the defender, you're basically just making sure that the attackers do not get anywhere near the objective before time runs out, or you take them all out. Let's see. Like I said, each of them has different special abilities and everything. The only one that's choosable by anyone, no matter who chooses any of the other characters, is the rookie. The rookies always have a set basic standard loadout equipment. So it's standard assault rifle, standard barricades, and standard reinforcements for the walls. The hook of this game is its destructibility of the various walls, floors, and ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting the way they do it. Some things like support beams and such, you can't break through, so those will stay standing. But like doors and stuff like that will be completely shattered as soon as you put breaching charges on them and such.
Okay.
It's fun, but I don't think it's a game for me.
Is it? Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, is it $60 of fun?
I don't think Rainbow Six is for me. I think.
Well,
it's just a little bit too slow paced for me, I think.
Right.
That's the problem.
I mean,
it's not this fast twitch like Call of Duty, Destiny, or even kind of how fast Battlefield got.
Right. Well, I mean, the other thing is there's no single player in this, so.
I mean, there kinda is, but kinda not.
It's a training mode. It's like Brink. It serves to exist to train you for the online
essentially.
or Shadowrun. Yeah, there's a couple hours of single player in there, but it's you with bots, and it's just training you for the multiplayer.
Yeah. They did actually have a tutorial in that beta, which I didn't notice when I first loaded it up and tried it.
Right.
There were two modes, the two separate modes to choose. You could do 4v CPU,
Mm-hmm.
so not four. Your squad of, it was either 5 or 6. I want to say it was 6 though, against a squad of AI.
Right.
And that's the classic terrorist hunt mode or something like that.
Yeah, from Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that mode was the only mode I could get into over the weekend before the beta was finished, which was really odd to me. I could not, for the life of me, get into a attacker-defender match. I have no idea why. Maybe there just wasn't enough people? I don't know. But yeah, again, same situation of if you die in terrorist hunt mode, you're out for the round.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there watching your teammates.
Well, I mean,
and
it's you don't like that mode. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, it is Counter-Strike SOCOM. I mean, that's where that originated. So
right, but even Counter-Strike is a much faster round-based gameplay than this.
SOCOM.
This is much slower.
SOCOM was kind of in the middle. Man, that's. I wish that team, that developer was still in business. I would love, like, for Sony to contract Bluepoint to redo the SOCOM games with the multiplayer this time, and instead of, redoing the Uncharted games on PS4, but oh yeah, no multiplayer on 2 or 3. Okay,
Right.
pass. But, I would love for them to contract Bluepoint to get the SOCOM games to redo them for PS4 and include the multiplayer. You don't even want to know how much that would sell to Sony diehards. I mean, that would make money.
Well,
and I'm old now, so like, I've never been as good at Call of Duty as some of you guys have been, but I kind of like the slower paced stuff, but I need to play it with a group, and right now I don't know if anyone in our group would be interested in paying $60, 48, whatever for this. It's just, there doesn't seem to be enough meat there. I mean, and I'm borrowing stuff from like a topic from GameScoop on IGN, but it's kind of like, what? None of these multiplayer only game, Titanfall was really good. You and I like that better than most, but
really good.
Other than the first month to 2 months of it, it hasn't sold well since. I mean, they made all the DLC free. Evolve fell flat on its face. It didn't even get 2 months of good sale. It just fell flat because people spoke out against its DLC practices.
Well, yeah, that was just really weird the way they did that.
Well, it was $5. Borderlands 2 did the same thing, but nobody complained about that. But of course, Borderlands 2 is a meaty game. There's so much in there.
Extremely.
But Borderlands 2 did the same thing. Remember, the Necromancer, she was pre-order for $10.
Right.
The other creature being 15, I think the price tag being higher and there not being any single player. And that was the thing. It's like none of these multiplayer only games have sold well. Or, I mean, they're not like... I mean, Titanfall sold well the first 2 months, but, not that many people play it anymore. It's not part of the main...
There's still enough people that you can easily get games.
Yeah, but it's not like at the forefront. When you think current popular shooters...
Right, yeah. It's not in the top 5.
Yeah. And then that's what I mean. We'll see with Battlefront. We'll see if the Star Wars hype is enough to carry it. But I don't think there's room this year for 2 multiplayer-only shooters. I think there's only room for 1, and that's going to be Battlefront.
Well, I mean, there will be another Call of Duty.
Well, that has a single player, though.
Okay.
At least on new gen, not the old.
Yeah, that was a weird announcement that happened in between the episodes.
I mean, I can understand.
No single player at all.
I can, I mean,
360 or PS3.
I forget, one of the podcasts I listened to had this, and I think maybe it was Justin Davis, who I don't always agree with, but this is both, I can understand this is them trying to wean people towards the newer stuff, but also an interesting experiment. Like, it
really is an interesting experiment. I want to know what's going to happen with those versions.
Will people pay $50 for a multiplayer-only Call of Duty?
Oh, it is? It's reduced by 10?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you get a free download of Black Ops 1.
I mean, that's not terrible.
That's
actually not terrible at all.
Well, considering that one of the top 10 selling games of August was the pack of 1 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Making a download of 2. Why a download of 1?
I don't know. Don't ask. Maybe 2 is still selling.
Well, yeah, that double pack, it's $30. It was one of the top 10 selling games at retail last month.
Well, I think we just answered the question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Rainbow Six Siege is going to be for me. But the destructibility, the graphics were really good. It looked really nice.
If I have time when it's discounted, maybe we'll all get into it when it inevitably, because it's an Ubisoft game too, and it's going to drop in price.
Oh yeah.
So maybe when it's $30 or less, we'll all pick it up and have fun with it. But
yeah, maybe
not at $60.
Don't know enough people that are willing to get it day one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's 2 weeks after Battlefront and the same day as Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Man, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks so good. So ridiculous and so fun.
Yeah. All right.
I saw some videos of people that's just messing around. Just so ridiculous. That reminds me so much of Saints Row 3.
Yeah.
Oh, just that looks so much fun. I really hope the aiming and gunplay is good in this version, because I just couldn't get behind the gunplay in Just Cause 2.
Well,
But speaking of betas
yeah, Battlefront.
and Star Wars,
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront beta on Xbox One, I just played this past weekend.
Yeah, I will play a little bit before the next episode. I have it on PS4. I don't have time to download on Xbox One, so...
I didn't even know it was out.
It came out for everyone on Thursday. Pre-orders and special people got it on Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it until like Friday night. And that was it.
Okay. Well,
So I downloaded it yesterday.
yeah.
Got in and played a couple rounds of capture the control pods.
Right. Okay.
That was the only just straight up TDM-ish mode open at the time. So they've only got 3 modes unlocked from the very beginning of the beta, and that's all you're going to get. They've got the capture the pods mode, which is 20 on 20? Or 10 on 10? It was 20 on 20. Or no. I think that is like the 10 on 10 or 12 on 12 mode. Because it's not as big as the story-based kind of ish mission of Walker Defense Assault. Walker Assault mode. Which is you are either on Imperial or Rebels. So based on that, you're either trying to stop the AT-ATs or defend the AT-ATs until they reach the shield generators and blow up the Rebels. So that's your big, super battlefieldy mode where you're driving around in vehicles. But the vehicles are only power-ups, so you're not going to be driving around in vehicles a ton unless you're finding the power-up pickups, because they're scattered around the battlefield near crashed vehicles of the type that you're going to pick up. Let me rewind a little bit, though, before we continue with that. It's first-person shooting or third-person shooting, depending on your choices. So you can actually switch between first and third person. And you can actually switch on the fly, which is really weird. I don't know why anyone would want to go third person for this, because it feels perfectly buttery smooth in first person. So, yeah, take that for what you will. You're just pulling the triggers and trying to hit somebody. These things are actually really accurate to a long distance if you're pulse firing them. So that's actually pretty good. So the weapons feel good. Now, normally, you'd only have your starting blaster weaponry, and that's it. So you get your blaster, and that's it. Until you level up and gain access to other armaments that are on cooldowns. So your grenade, your ion grenade, or was it the ion grenade? I don't remember what the thermal detonator. The thermal detonator is on a cooldown of 9 seconds. And you can spam as many as you want. As soon as those cooldowns are up.
Okay.
You throw one, wait for the cooldown, throw another one, wait for the cooldown, throw another one, wait for the cooldown. It gave me a bit of reminiscing from World at War, with all the grenades going round the battlefields, those were bad memories. But then you also gain access to a sniper-ish rifle, which fires a solid slug instead of a beam.
Okay.
And that one's got a little bit of travel distance on it, so it's a way more battlefield aiming mechanics with that one. Whereas with the laser rifles, there's a heck of a lot less lead time on. Then the third item you'll get is a charge-based power-up. And that can either be a personal shield for you and someone who is directly standing next to you, or the other one that was unlocked first was a ion boost charge for your blasters. So if you pop that, your blaster rifle would then do extra damage to vehicles, shields, and droids. So it just boosted your power for mechanical things. Pod defense was fun. Wasn't anything wrong with that. Except for the fact that you're going to get spawn killed constantly. Holy cow, the spawns in that game are so bad. Mm-hmm. There were multiple times where I spawned, and within half a second, there was somebody already looking at me from the opposing team. And there was just straight up a couple times where I took hits from people I didn't even see as soon as I spawned. Wasn't quite enough to kill me right off, but it was enough to confuse the hell out of me. It's like, well, where the hell am I getting shot from?
Right.
So, I really think they need to work on those spawns a little bit. That happened not quite as much during the Walker Assault mode, but it still happened enough that it's a problem that needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
The third mode that was available is a wave-based survival mode, so Horde mode. It's a set number of rounds. It has a score-based mechanic that is what they judge the leaderboards on. So speed and actual accuracy are what raise your score. It was only 6 rounds, and that was the end of that because they didn't want to give you the full 12 rounds. Does I want to say it was the final one?
Okay.
So you gotta unlock the full game before you get the full 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Weight-based survival. Wasn't bad. Decent AI. Fought a couple of ATSTs in that mode single-handedly. That was pretty fun. Yeah, it's not bad in any way other than the spawns. It was fun. $60 fun.
Right.
I'm not really looking for a multiplayer shooter that's kind of way more Battlefield than Star Wars at the moment. So that's kind of where it breaks down for me. So it's not a day one purchase.
Right, yeah.
But heck yeah, I'll play that game eventually. Just not right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. It was quite fun hearing those Star Wars sound effects and Star Wars vehicles and everything else. I did get to pilot a TIE fighter. That was pretty fun. It was really fun. Then, the thing that I have almost non-stop been playing was Destiny for Xbox One. The Taken King took me and dominated my mind since the game launched. The DLC.
Okay.
On the 14th.
Yeah.
Or was it 15th? 15th, I think. It was the 14th or 15th.
Mm-hmm.
But, whoa, man. So many things. The story was actually pretty fun. There is a story. now.
Yeah.
There are actual characters
Mm-hmm.
that are memorable. Cade 6, who is voiced by Nathan Fillion,
Mm-hmm.
is pretty fun. He's the Hunter Vanguard rep.
Yep.
He's really fun. I really like him.
Good.
He's pretty snarky during that entire thing.
All right, I might keep going with Hunter then, because all I've heard is Titan, 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 and I was like, I like the Hunter.
Titans are fun to play.
I thought the Hunter was fine.
The story for Cade 6 happens no matter what Guardian you are. I just have a soft spot for Nathan Fillion.
Right. I was like, oh, cool, yeah.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
In the DLC.
Okay.
So, no matter what class you are, you still get to hear him throughout the DLC during the missions that he talks to you in. They gave you a little bit more of Eris Morn's backstory and a little bit more of her motivations as well. So she actually grows a little bit as a character. Not a ton, but a little bit. You actually get a little bit of full-on cutscene action for Zavala and the Warlock Vanguard, whose name I can't remember. Oh god, I'm a Warlock and I don't remember her name. Yeah, God, I can't remember her name because she's just not in the DLC enough. But yeah, she gets like one full cutscene mission where you get to see her in motion. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But as overall, it's worth the $40 for the DLC. If you're still playing Destiny at all, it's worth it. It makes a lot of good changes. The only time it kind of breaks down a teeny tiny little bit is once again the end game for your armor and weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bit hard to go from approximately 85-ish up to the 90 that you really need to be higher than for raids.
Yeah.
But now that Xur had his rework, and Xur now sells year 2 stuff fully, things are a little different. So now actually it's not quite as hard to get to 289-ish, 290, because all the exotic gear that he sells starts at 280. But if you buy a random engram from Xur on the weekends, you can potentially get a 290 exotic. Or even a 310 exotic. 310 is the current cap for all gear and weapons. Currently, I am at 300 for my average light level. I got actually a couple things that are... I got two things that are 310 right now, which pushed me up a lot. Story is fun. Get to kill Oryx. Send him to the Taken Realm. At which point, that's when the story of the raid picks up. And where the story of what the hell happened last week gets to pick up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling great when I woke up. Because starting the day with a headache is never fun.
Right.
And just over the duration of the day, it just got worse and worse. So we canceled. Moved it to... originally, it was going to be Monday.
Yeah, the next day, yeah.
We'll talk about why it wasn't Monday in a second. So as the day progressed, my head was getting worse and worse. And it just was feeling like, this headache's just not going away. The Tylenol I took just wasn't enough. It staved it off a little bit, but not quite enough. So I'm just sitting there playing Destiny, hoping against all hope that eventually my head will stop aching. And I get invited to the raid. So
Yeah, that's not exactly.
I'm like, sure, why not? I want to do the raid. I want the gear that the raid drops, and I want to see what all these mechanics are. So I start playing the raid with Dante and Matt from my friends list,
Mhm.
and a bunch of their friends. We get about halfway through the raid, and unfortunately, people have to leave because it's late,
Yeah.
and it's like 10:30 at night already. So we'd been playing for about an hour.
Yeah.
We were right at the part where the raid actually starts because there's this whole intro section for the raid where you have to actually open the portal,
Mhm.
platform your way over to the area, then platform your way over to another area. So you can imagine my frustration at that point with the the fun 3D platforming. I actually made it across almost every single one of those platforms before a good majority of the group.
Oh.
So I'm actually happy about that. Warlock glide jump for the win, my friend. Your hunter will have a little bit of trouble in the raid with the jumps.
Oh.
So max out your agility for that section. That's all I can say.
Okay.
That's the only tip I can give you because everything else is not great. That's the one downside for the hunters during this raid. But yeah, we're at the section where the raid fully begins and the full on boss fights start at that point. And then, unfortunately, like I said, some people had to leave, and then Dante's connection craps out and he's just offline. So we grabbed two new people about 20 minutes in. 20 minutes of us waiting. It's like, okay, well, don't think he's coming back. Don't think he's coming back. All right, well, let's get two other people.
Yeah.
So we do. And we make it through the first three fights without too much trouble. We die a bunch of times as we're learning the patterns and everything,
Mhm.
but we get through those. And then we get to the final fight of the raid. And I'm just starting to feel really off. Because it's real late. It's
Right.
after midnight
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
And I was getting hungry originally around 11. But now I had gotten to the point where, like, I don't really feel hungry at the moment. Because there's a point where after you're hungry enough, it sort of just doubles back and you're not hungry again.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, that must have been what happened. And I'm just not hungry right now because it's been long enough where my stomach wanted food, but then it just got over it. An hour and a half later, we finally killed the boss. My head is just pounding so bad. The headache had just gotten so ridiculously worse. I was lucky I got through the raid.
Okay.
And then, the minute we were back in the tower, decoding the gear that we had gotten, I was hit with a wave of nausea that was so bad. And I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go bad now. Sorry. And I run down here, and then it settles off a little bit as I'm drinking a little bit of water. But I'm still like, I don't want food. I don't want anything. And I just straight up lay my head on the table for an hour and don't remember anything for that hour. It was really bad.
Yeah.
At that point, I was still feeling kind of ill, so I'm like, I guess I'm just going to bed now. Forgetting dinner entirely. So I go and lay down for another couple hours, try to sleep without much luck. It felt like I had had the flu in fast forward, it was really weird and really bad. So I didn't get much sleep that day until many hours later, after I had gotten up and decided, okay, well, I don't feel quite as nauseous. I am really hungry because I haven't had any food for like 10 plus hours.
Right.
So I eat my dinner that was waiting. And then finally go to bed at like 9 a.m. And I slept for probably 7 hours. Got up. It still felt like I was burning from the inside. It was so bad. But yeah, that's the reason why we didn't have an episode on Sunday or Monday. Because, wow.
Did you get yourself checked out? I mean, this sounds...
It was like the flu in fast forward, but then I was fine on Tuesday, so I don't know. Maybe it was just a really bad cold? Maybe it was a combination of two different things?
This
I don't know.
sounds like what happened when
like
you went to
I'm
Seattle.
fine now.
Okay, this sounds almost like what happened in Seattle.
But the thing was, I wasn't... Well, I had a fever then too, but I didn't have a fever the second time it happened back in...
September 09.
No, it happened again after that. And after that point, I did get checked out by the doctor. We still couldn't figure out what the heck happened. I want to say it was... What year did the final Batman movie come out?
12?
2012?
12 or,
So that
12
was,
or 13. One of the two.
whichever year that was when it happened again. And that was when the muscles just decided to seize and not move. This time, that's not what happened. I was still moving. I just was in a fever and nauseous. So there was a very big difference in between those two. But I did enjoy the raid, even though I was in a slight fever-induced, almost coma for the day after.
Yeah.
I did get some good gear out of it. Enough to make some of my weapons and armor pretty damn powerful. That's for sure.
Okay.
The boss puzzles for the raid are actually pretty fun. They were quite clever. Thankfully, I knew what I was getting into, so that I didn't constantly need someone to explain like what I should be doing at each step of the way up to the final fight.
Right.
Which I hadn't quite finished watching the giant bomb raid videos up to that point.
Yeah.
So I learned on the fly how to defeat the final boss. It's pretty complicated to do that on the fly.
Yeah.
It's because, like I said, it took us about an hour and a half to do it before we finally got a rhythm going where we were in good sync for everybody and nobody got screwed out by snipers or extra ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally learned what ads means. Enemies added to the fight.
Yes.
I did not know that. I thought it just meant something like attack damage soakers or something.
No.
Something weird like that.
Even I knew that.
I never played an MMO back in the day.
I've played a grand total of 2 MMOs for 2 months each.
Well, actually, no, I did play an MMO. I played Final Fantasy XI.
Yeah, I played that for 2 months. I played WoW for 2 months. But the thing is, those terms work in single-player RPGs as well.
And I had no idea what those terms meant because I'd never heard them until Destiny. I'd never played with other people who knew those terms until Destiny.
I just picked it up from listening to the podcasts and stuff, different podcasts and stuff. I guess that's how
I may have heard those terms before, but never understood the origin of what that actually meant.
Okay.
So I just thought it was an acronym that meant something completely different.
Okay.
But yeah, now I actually know that. Yeah, the loot drops have been pretty fun. The gunsmith and his reputation system is very interesting. There are quests tied to your reputation level now for the different reps.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hidden rep quest at rep level 25 at the tower.
Yeah.
The 3 tower reps. So Future War Cult, New Monarchy, and Dead Orbit. There's 1 each at level 25 of each of those rep levels.
Mm-hmm.
What you get is a class item that's exotic that can be worn at the same time as another exotic piece of armor. That's pretty good, because you can only have 1 piece of exotic armor and 1 exotic weapon on at the same time normally. So breaking those rules, that's pretty powerful. If the stats on those are really good, that might be really worth it. So stick with whatever rep vendor you decide to choose until you at least hit level 25. And then you can switch off. Another little tip, Dead Orbit has the best scout rifle in the entire base game that's purchasable from the tower. So if you're looking for a good scout rifle, that's your rep vendor you want to go with.
Okay.
Anything else that I didn't talk about in patch 2.0? There are hidden quests. Straight up hidden quests that, unless you satisfy certain requirements, if you didn't know about them, you'd never get them. It's really crazy how much hidden stuff and extra stuff that they've thrown into this game now.
Yeah.
It's really cool. This is the game we all thought we were getting last year. They finally did it. Destiny is officially completed in base game form.
Okay.
So now, let's see how fast the uproar begins when the microtransactions begin this next week.
Yep.
Because one of the vendors from the original game before patch 2.0 came out was removed.
Right.
She was basically the special items vendor that was for promotional stuff, like
the speeder, or the whatever the bike is from the collector's edition, and
the Sparrow, the collector's edition Sparrow.
Yeah, that's
you got it from her, but she was taken out, and then the kiosks went in to replace her original function. Well, they created a new function for her, and that's selling real-world money emotes.
Yeah.
And armor shaders, I want to say.
And dances, yeah.
But yeah, the emotes are the dances,
Okay.
but they can be anything, essentially. So it's a bunch of dances, and then potentially other motions for your emote. You can only change out one of your emotes, and that's normally your point function. But you can replace that with a second dance. You can replace it with a second something else that they decide to add in these new emotes coming this week. Can't wait to see how the changes to Iron Banner come in, because Iron Banner picks up this week as well. That'll be the first one since Taken King patch 2.0.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that rolls out, and I'll have some impressions on that next episode. But this is just such a better game. You get so much more loot that's actually useful. Even the low-level drops can sometimes be useful. If it's a purple, you can actually make it really high-powered by infusing it with infusion. I was actually wrong about how you earn your legendary marks to do your fusion and purchases. You can only earn them by dismantling Taken King Year weapons of legendary or exotic quality.
Okay.
And, well, weapons and armor. And you'll also earn 15 per daily story mission, daily Crucible match. Now, daily Crucible match, you do not have to win, you just have to play. So that makes it extremely easy, even if you're on a team that's not doing so well. They reworked the Nightfall, so it doesn't actually say what mission you're getting up front. It's a hidden-ish mission, but a lot of these modifiers have been changed as well. There's a bunch of new modifiers. I don't even know them all yet. Let's see. The heroic strikes, which was normally a weekly item as well, was changed as well. The weekly heroics, you can actually earn 30 legendary marks from 10 per heroic strike you complete. So you get 30 for an entire week, and that's it. And then you'll just stop earning legendary marks. But if you keep rolling with those heroic strikes, you'll actually gain something called a Vanguard Streak bonus, which can drop better Vanguard level gear. So they made some new changes there. They also made a change to the weekly Crucible modes. Those were normally just one-off things that were a little extra originally. Those were stuff like salvage originally, and originally there was a thing called Inferno Clash, and then there was also a vehicle mode where you could roll around in some of the vehicles from the single player. That didn't go over so well with the vehicles, so they sort of just took that out entirely. Now salvage is a straight up just mode you can choose. Salvage still isn't really a mode for me because it's capture the relic item that pops up and that's targeted. And once you capture it, your team gets the points, but you have to defend it for a certain amount of time before it actually captures. I'm trying to think what else changed. That daily Crucible mode changed, or not, the weekly Crucible thing changed as well. So now it functions the same way as the weekly heroic playlist. So you'll gain 30 marks over 3 different matches if you win. That's the only difference between those. You have to win 3 matches to get your 30 marks.
Okay.
In that mode. I think that's everything.
All right. Well, I think we're running pretty short on time here, but we need to get this done real quick. So let's do the coming soon for October.
Okay, so what's coming out in October?
All right.
Because it's a big month.
Yeah. Always the second biggest month of the year. What's already come out this week prior to the recording? Xbox One, PS4 got Rock Band 4. Good luck finding the adapter, because if you were wanting it for Xbox, if you want to use the old instruments, there's a $20 adapter, and it's sold out everywhere. Even pre-order people haven't gotten it. I know Kesmer, one of our top fans from forever, he still doesn't have his, even though it's pre-ordered. So, yeah, there's been a lot of issues with that on the Xbox One side of things.
Because on PS4, it's Bluetooth, so.
Yeah, it all just works.
It just works.
Yeah. Also
Oh,
PS.
Microsoft and your proprietary format for your connection.
Yep. All right. PS4 also got Disgaea 5, Alliance of Vengeance.
Oh, that's right. There's 5 of those games now.
Yep.
Jeez.
Both everything but Wii got everything but the Wii systems. So all the high def systems got Transformers Devastation.
Oh, I gotta go watch that quick look. I hope it's good.
PS4 and Xbox One both got Game of the Year editions for Dragon Age.
Yep. So all the DLC.
All the DLC. Ride, which is a motorcycle game, came out for Xbox One and PS4. Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. This is the Dengeki manga, anime characters, whatever, infused with also Sega characters. That came out on PS3. And then Friday the 9th had Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which was the single player of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, that's not a bad collection if you don't already have any of the games.
Right, exactly. But I have them, and they didn't put in the multiplayer, so I care less, because I've played and beaten all 3 of those. And have trophies for all 3, so.
Okay.
All right, October 13th, Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees, Woe and the Blight. This is Dynasty Warriors meets Dragon Quest. It works for Hyrule, so why not try it for Dragon Quest?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was the world building one.
No, this is
which I guess that one's still just in Japan at the moment.
Yeah, this is the straight up. Hey, Hyrule Warriors worked. Let's do it with Dragon Quest.
Right.
Back to the Future 30th Anniversary Edition. So this is the Back to the Future game that was originally PS3 download and retail, and Wii retail only. Now is getting a disc reprint on Xbox One, PS4, and 360. So
this is the Telltale game?
This is the Telltale game, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Originally a PS3 Wii exclusive, it is now getting a disc reprint on the other platforms that it didn't get before.
Okay.
Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, PC RPG. There was a Kickstarter, getting a console port.
Okay.
Talos Principle Deluxe Edition coming out for PS4. Grand Ages Medieval Limited Edition for PS4.
Yeah, Talos Principle was that's a pretty good puzzle game.
The Arland Altair Trilogy for PS3. And then Friday the 16th gets you Yoshi's Woolly World and a official retail release of New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Luigi U. Remember, originally that was only a pack-in.
Right.
Now is getting an official retail release because both those games are out of print.
Right, okay.
Moving on to the 20th. Guitar Hero Live on everything.
Yeah.
Even Wii U.
You're not really hearing much hype for that.
No.
All the hype seemed to be around Rock Band.
Yeah. Well, because in the media, Rock Band was always more popular, but among the common gamer, Guitar Hero was. And also now Guitar Hero is going to make you buy new instruments. Whereas Rock Band, the old ones would work. So.
Yeah.
Just Dance 2016 on everything, plus Wii.
Boo, Ubisoft. Boo.
How about
stop making those games?
Well, how about Just Dance Disney Party 2 on everything but PS4?
Ugh. Why do you do this?
Well, I will be enjoying my collector's edition of Tales of Zestiria on PS4. Regular versions are on PS4 and PS3.
Okay.
All the Xbox and Sony platforms are getting a retail release of the Jackbox Party Pack.
There you go.
New Adventure Time game, Finn and Jake Investigations, coming out on everything plus Wii U.
Okay.
PS4 and Xbox One are getting a Hasbro Family Fun Pack.
All right.
I think it's because Ubisoft probably owns those rights, so let's put them out again.
Probably.
Air Conflicts Pacific Carriers comes out for PS4. And Friday the 23rd is Assassin's Creed Syndicate for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that does.
Yeah. Moving to the 27th, of course, the big release is Halo 5 for Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
WWE 2K16 comes out on all 4 Xbox Sony platforms.
Yep.
All 4 Xbox Sony platforms get a retail release of Minecraft Story Mode. Now, this starts digitally this week. And this retail release, instead of waiting for all 5 episodes to come out, the disc will only have episode 1, and then there'll be a download code for the season pass. So beware of that.
Interesting.
Yes, because we gotta have a new Minecraft game for Christmas.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But just beware of that, because some people wait for the retail release for these games. Well, you're still gonna have to download something.
Yeah.
All right, Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. This is what I'm all excited about for this day. Comes out for PS4 and Xbox One. If you have the PC version of the original, you get the Enhanced Edition update for free.
Oh, cool.
MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore comes out for PS4 and Xbox One. WRC5, which is the rally racing series, comes out on all the Sony and Xbox platforms. And then the Definitive Edition of Darksiders 2 comes out for PS4 and Xbox One.
I know they like making puns, but I really don't think they needed to go there.
All right, going to the handhelds. Vita also got Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. Vita also got a late port of Farming Simulator 16. And then on Friday, Chibi Robo Ziplash came out for 3DS.
Yeah, that actually looks really good.
Okay. Atlas's next RPG for 3DS, The Legend of Legacy, comes out on the 13th. You also have Smurfs and Goosebumps on 3DS.
Yeah, apparently there's a Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, it stars Jack Black. Yeah.
That popped up out of nowhere.
The trailer, I saw the trailer for it originally at Ant-Man. So that's the only reason I knew about it. It's because they played the trailer during Ant-Man.
Right, but was there any talk of that before this year?
No, not that I know of.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, poof, hey, here's a movie.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then Corpse Party Blood Drive Ever After Edition comes out on Vita.
All right.
Moving to the 20th, Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space on Vita. Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth for Vita. The Adventure Time Finn and Jake's Investigations for 3DS.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden for 3DS.
Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced, yeah.
And Friday the 23rd is Zelda Triforce Heroes.
Yeah.
Friday the 23rd. And then Tuesday the 27th is Super Beat Sonic for Vita.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the list.
What that game is.
Don't know. Something Japanese, but don't know much else.
Yeah. So that's it, huh?
That's it.
All right. I definitely think that's an episode.
Yeah.
Because we've been going for a while.
Yep.
All right. So don't forget to subscribe to the show through iTunes or the Groove Marketplace.
Is that what it's
over
called?
on Microsoft. Yeah.
Oh.
On all Microsoft consoles or Microsoft systems.
Oh.
So Windows and Xbox.
Also on Stitcher Radio.
If you're on the go, yeah, you can listen to us through Stitcher Radio. It's for your smartphone applications. And if you want to follow us online, say, I don't know, maybe Twitter, you can follow at Checkmate Arcade for the show. Or you can follow me individually at Dark Bossman.
I'm at MSU Hitman.
And we also have a Facebook page if you want to follow any information like when the show goes live. It's posted on Twitter and on Facebook. We also share a couple stories every once in a while through the Facebook group as well.
Yep.
That's Checkmate Space Arcade.
2 words.
Yep. So that's going to do it for this episode, where I have been the Slayer of Oryx. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And I guess I gotta figure. I'm 3 console guy now. I gotta figure out how this Xbox One works. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
Don't worry, my friend. I've got a lot of experience you can dig from. And maybe we'll see you on live, PSN, or maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.